Soccerworld Fan TV. We have another, well, I mean, another United supporter. Unfortunately, no, I'm kidding. To talk about the game. With many of the other United supporters, I usually had them, rant about the game, and I'll let you do the same. You go rant on ahead.
Honestly, so first off, I should admit that I left early. Like I just stopped watching when Martial got sent off because I couldn't. I just there's a lot to do with that. But like I can't even be mad because just from the game Tottenham was better.
Mm-hmm.
So like they deserved to win. The score was a little intense. I don't like saying it was that deserved, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, like from what I gather, at the start, it made sense. It was the first play of the game, which is like typical Man U of getting a penalty in some strange fashion,
Mm-hmm.
which I hate to admit. But I think it was fair.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, Tottenham's first goal was a bit of a shit show, but they got it. They deserved it. The
Mm-hmm.
second goal was a lot more deserved. Man U was dreadful. And, if you're gonna if you're gonna tackle someone like Maguire, you tackle him, that's fine. Get back. Don't just stand there, you know? It was basically at that point, Son had he had that through point where there were no defenders basically.
Mm-hmm.
And that it just made sense. And then I don't know, for the red card, that one I thought was a bit stupid. I think Martial should have gotten it, but I also think that I've actually forgot who the Tottenham player was.
Lamelo.
Like, who was?
Lamelo.
Yeah, I think he should have gotten it too, just because, if you're gonna be budging like that, I think that's a red. If you're
Mm-hmm.
gonna be pushing like that, that's a red. I think they should both get sent off. Then it's 10v10, where, I feel like I think that's the fair the
Mm-hmm.
fair trade-off. I don't think one person should get it and the other shouldn't. But yeah,
I know you didn't watch the whole of the game per se, but what do you think that United's gone wrong, barring the red
Hmm.
card?
Oh, could you repeat that question?
Where do you think that United, like, where, like, specifically that United just haven't been performing well? Like, do you think it was the attack? Do you think it was the defense?
See, I feel like the attacking side's like been doing rather well. It's not been a great season, or at least it's not been a great start to the season, but
Mm-hmm.
they're still performing and they're still doing their job. Defense has been not it's just not been good enough. And
Mm-hmm.
I guess you could tie that down to, oh, we don't have, the transfers we need, or, we don't have this or that. But then simultaneously, why is it that at the end of last season they were doing so well for, that 10 game stint where they
Mm-hmm.
basically didn't concede for a lot of the games?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, like I feel like you could see in this game that they weren't fully there. They were
Mm-hmm.
like they were switched off for little bits, but oftentimes, if you're even switched off for 5 seconds, that's when you concede. That's what we saw with Son's first goal,
Mm-hmm.
and it's ultimately I think that it does boil down to the defense not doing well enough.
Mm-hmm.
That's the primary concern. Um, you could also talk about De Gea or Henderson. I thought De Gea, he did well where he should do well. If you're one on one, I don't expect him to save it. So, say with Son's first goal, I don't expect him to save it. Say with Ndombele's goal, I don't expect him to save it.
I mean,
Um,
I don't wanna spoil it for you, but after you did leave though, I think there was a goal where Maguire got megged, and then De Gea also got megged. So I mean, I'm sorry, dude.
oh
Um,
my God.
I'm sorry, but yeah,
Oh, that's life. That's
uh,
life.
that's life. But I do want to
Hey, at
say,
least, at least, at least with Tottenham fans, they've had to go through more than Man U fans. So like, I'm not going to be mad at them. They've had to go through months and years of shit. You know, that's just life.
well, there you go, Tottenham fans. You can, you know, feel that United fans do feel for you. But you make a good point about about last season, where I mean, I think apart from the Chelsea result in the beginning of the season, it wasn't it wasn't the best of starts, but you can put it down to many injuries. Although having
Hmm.
said that, now we're coming into this season, a lot of the players are now fit again. But of course, you do have new signings. You do have Cavani and you do have Tellus. Which how do you feel about that as well?
Actually, I didn't know about the Tellus signing. So I was actually just going to mention that, but now I'm happy, I guess. I've always liked Shaw. I feel especially in the final third, he has a good way of maneuvering the ball on the left side. Um, but defensively, he's not the best. I would say adding Tellus, I've never actually seen him play. I don't watch the Portuguese league, but from his stats, he sounds very good. So that's an exciting prospect. Cavani is great. He's been doing wonders at PSG. He was also great at Napoli. So that's exciting as well. I actually don't feel like adding Cavani. It's a great asset, but he usually plays right up front. He would take Martial's spot. Again, everybody knows that the right hand side is primarily the problem.
Mm-hmm.
Greenwood's great, but you can't play him every game because he's going to tire out, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, I would say that even though we got Tellus, which is awesome, I would
Mm-hmm.
be more concerned about that center back. You know, Eric Bailly, he does have all those, those things you'd want if you pair him with Maguire. Maguire's not fast, but he's steady, and Bailly's quick, but he's not very, steadfast. So you'd
Mm-hmm.
think that works well together, but Bailly's kind of a loose cannon. You don't know what to expect,
Mm-hmm.
so it could go well, it couldn't. So another solid center back would probably be more important, I would think. But I'm still very happy to hear that Telus is there, and I was also very happy to hear that we got Cavani, especially because free transfer.
Yeah. One final thing I want to say though. I know it's early days. I know with the whole result and everything, it's gonna really sway. But do you think even with the signings that you made right now, do you think you can still compete for top four? And another thing to add on, a lot of people have been disrespecting Spurs, saying that for sure they're gonna finish top six. They may even finish out of the top six. Um, do you think Spurs should be more respected after that performance?
See, even beforehand, because I didn't actually watch too many of the Spurs games, but I felt like everyone saying that they weren't going to do well. It kind of, I don't know, I didn't agree purely because I thought that when Mourinho came in, he did rather well. He didn't, get them into top four, but he did well for what he had, and then they had a lot of decent signings this summer. So I thought that I still think that they're going to do pretty well this season. I think that they might, take fifth. It wouldn't surprise me if they got top four, but I don't see it happening.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then with Man U, the thing is, like last year, the season started really poorly, and then they got top four. So it's really hard to tell, but something's different about this time around. Last year, I don't know, it felt like they were doing, you know, they weren't doing their best, but they still had the components there. And then when they pieced them together, when Bruno Fernandez came, that was
Mm-hmm.
kind of like, okay, now the train's taking off.
Mm-hmm.
But now it feels as though whatever those core pieces were that Bruno put together, they aren't there. There seems to be a lack of connection. Other teams seem to be able to pick them apart rather easily.
Mm-hmm.
And so I wouldn't be surprised if at the end of the season we saw them do very poorly. And I think ultimately that's going to lead to Ollie's sacking, which I don't want. I think that he's a very good coach, especially with what he has had to work with.
Mm-hmm.
And that sad for me and the rest of the Ollie fans, but I guess that's just the way that the Glazers and Ed Wood work. Ed Wood, whatever his name is, that's how they work. I can't. They're the problem for me. I don't like the board.
Mm-hmm. Well, once again, thank you so much for, voicing your opinion, and if you absolutely feel bad for this wonderful guy, and like I mean, I've seen a lot of the other United fans are absolutely just battered. You're just coming in with a smile and everything. So, what? If you absolutely love this kind of radiant positivity, please smash a like. Please subscribe as well to our channel. And share it for sure. At the end of the day, of course it's a bad loss, but of course it's how you take it. You know what I mean? And going forward, it's better to laugh than to cry, as we all say,
Yeah.
for sure. And yeah, hopefully, United do perform better in the next match, which the next big match. Who's their next big match again? I forgot.
I have no clue. I haven't even seen the schedule.
Yeah, me neither. But anyways, yeah. Thank you so much, and y'all take care. Peace.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem.
See you guys.